Sometimes we wait for inspiration to strike, thinking that only in moments of divine clarity can we take action. But what if the path to inspiration actually begins with discipline? Discipline is the quiet, daily decision to show up, even when the feeling isn't there. It's waking up early to pray even when you're tired, or opening your Bible even when your heart feels distant. It's committing to stillness, to reflection, to the small spiritual practices that tether you to something higher, whether or not they feel profound in the moment. Think of a candle. It doesn't wait for the room to be dark enough to light itself. It shines because it was lit with intention. That's what discipline is. It lights the spark that eventually becomes inspiration. There are days when God's presence feels distant, when your soul feels dry. And in those times, it's easy to think something's wrong with you, or that you've lost your connection. But that's when discipline becomes a form of faith. Continuing to walk the path even when the landscape is foggy, praying not because you feel like it, but because you believe it still matters. The prophet Elijah, after calling down fire from heaven, fell into despair. He was exhausted, afraid, and asked God to take his life. But God didn't give him a vision or a thunderous word in that moment. Instead, God sent him rest, then food, then silence, and finally a whisper. Elijah's discipline to keep walking, even in weakness, made him able to hear that whisper. Discipline honors God, even when your emotions don't. It shows trust, and it makes you ready for those moments when inspiration does arrive, like a wave after a long, still sea. When you build discipline into your faith journey, you create a foundation strong enough to weather the spiritual droughts. You no longer rely on feelings to dictate your faithfulness. You begin to understand that the act of showing up is an act of worship in itself. The truth is, we don't become faithful people by waiting to feel spiritual. We become faithful people by practicing faith, day in and day out. That's the sacred rhythm. Discipline first, and inspiration will come. So today, if you're feeling uninspired, take a single faithful step. Open the journal. Whisper the prayer. Read one verse. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to show up. God meets us in movement. And sometimes, the greatest spiritual breakthroughs are found not in mountaintop moments, but in the quiet faithfulness of ordinary days. If this message spoke to you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what part of your journey this reminds you of, or how I can be praying for you. And if you're walking a quiet path right now, know that you're not alone. Subscribe if you'd like more spiritual guidance, reflection, and peace in your day.